What's up, everybody? This time around I got 2 cushions to make. I'm gonna see if I can't do both of these on this one live stream right here, but basically I got a sport fishing yacht. There are 2 cushions on the flybridge, just like the kind of lounge section on like the second story. That is what this is. They're quite long actually. So I got this one, and then I also got this big ass one to do right here. So we'll see how that goes. I am going to pull up some, just 1 second, there we go. All right, now I can see the chat. Okay. And although these look really big, these are actually quite simple. And I will explain, hopefully. It can be kind of tricky doing stuff like this in this tiny ass garage because you can see the amount of space I'm working with. But see how she goes. In other news, 1,000 subscribers is crazy. I can't believe there's actually 1,000 people that were willing to listen to my silly nonsense. Actually crazy. But what I usually do when I start doing cushions like this, especially if I'm making them off the old, well, anyways, what I usually do for cushions like this, I make them off of the mesh, and I pretty much throw everything else away. So what I'm doing here is I'm just cutting this stitching, and I tried to get the camera in a better position to where y'all will actually see it, but yeah, and if you're in your rig, I mean, I have my microphone set up. I don't know if y'all can. I got this. I think it's working. I can't tell. But that's about as good as I can do. So you'll just have to turn your volume up, I guess. But and I think I'm actually going to change up these cushions a tiny bit. Because if you look, there's no zipper going through this whole run right here. They have the zipper in the boxing. I think I'm just going to put the zipper on the mesh. That makes it way easier and saves a bunch of time. In my opinion, looks a little bit better. Man, that's a tricky deal. Alright, you know what, let me... Let's do that. I'm gonna get my scissors, and the material, all materials and tools I'm using, once I'm done with this live stream and I post the video later, I'll make sure and link everything in that description. So if you're curious, go check that out once I'm done. But this material is Psy leather. It's like a silicone based marine vinyl. It's actually really nice. It's one of my favorites. But the company that makes it is called Reliatex, and I've been hearing a lot of complaints of them lately. Like, this material for this job took like 3 weeks to come in, which is insane. Usually when we order something, it comes in like in 3 days. But yeah. Yeah, 1,000 subscribers. That's kind of crazy. But what also changes with 1,000 subscribers, apparently I now have full access to live streaming. I guess I didn't have that before, so I wonder if something's going to be different with this one. Probably not, but still pretty cool. I am trying to be careful with this, but this is being kind of annoying. It's because of this stupid welt cord. Oh yeah, and I noticed they have welt cord on both seams, this top and bottom seam. So I guess I gotta do that. What do they do? Yeah, they definitely just... Okay, yeah, I'm gonna do the same. But if any of y'all have any questions, by all means, shoot them in the comments or the chat or whatever. But with these two big cushions I'm doing, they also have a cool wooden teak helm seat I'm reupholstering too. That's actually going to be a main video, so I'm excited about that one. That's the first time I'm doing something like that. I am not gonna lie, this armrest is, or this mesh is being super annoying. So you know what, let's cut off this seam. So what I'm doing instead is, instead of trying to cut the actual stitching, I'm just cutting the material right where that stitch line is, and I'm just cutting it off. I'll just make sure to add my seam allowance later. No, this cushion is not reversible. Some people just put them on the sides because it has this mesh on, means it's not reversible. If it was reversible, the entire cushion would have vinyl on the top and bottom, like it does right here, because then you could like flip it upside down. But it's just like an unnecessary detail. And I can also tell based off of where these are, this is the front edge, these little tabs right here. I know this is the front edge of the cushion because snaps are supposed to go here, but there aren't any, which I think is kind of odd. And that zipper's in the back, so. Let's pop that right there so I can see that a little bit better. All right. Fun stuff. And it looks like my table's just barely long enough for this whole cushion to lay on it, which is good because I need to draw out the material. And honestly, that's something I've really been needing to do is make my table bigger. It's starting to become a nuisance for how small it is. That's what she said. scissors suck. Alright. So now that we got this is the only piece we really need. And the reason why I go off of the mesh and not the top part is because typically when people make cushions like this, they'll pattern where the cushion is going to lay, which means this mesh is always on the bottom. So usually this is going to be the most accurate to the actual like shape of the boat. At least that's what makes sense in my head, so that's what I do. Haven't had a cushion come back so far, so that's good. And this is now garbage. Toss that right there for now. And I'm not doing new foam for these people. They wanted to keep this same foam. So what I'm going to do to help bring a little bit of life back is steam it. And I will try and adjust the camera so y'all can see. But it's actually super cool when you steam foam. Sometimes the foam can expand like upwards of an inch. It's actually incredibly satisfying. And for those of you, if you didn't hear me in the beginning, everything I use, once this live stream is done, I'll link in the description, like this steamer and the Kai scissors I'm using and everything. So pop by and check that out later once this is uploaded if you're curious. All right, what am I? Also, one thing that kind of blows my mind, there's only 2 outlets in this whole garage. There's one on the very back wall that I have the machine plugged up to with an extension cord, and then literally just one other one. It's actually kind of crazy. But yeah, this thing is super cool. So once you plug it in, you get this like beeping thing. That's the water heating up. And then once it's actually heated up, you just press steam, which actually kind of low. I should put a little bit more in there. Now this particular steamer isn't the cheapest in the world. This one, I think the whole kit was around like $300, but this is actually like a floor steamer. This is obviously like the main guts of it, but it has like a really long extendo thingy. But this works phenomenally. At my main job, my 9 to 5, we have a steamer that we use for the foam, and it was like some crazy expensive thing that was like $2,000, and it takes like an hour to heat up. Versus this is already done. You can see the blinking stopped, and you press the either a lot of steam or a little bit of steam, and it'll start squirting out some steam. Let me try and adjust this just a little bit so y'all can see how much the foam expands. All right, let's set y'all down right about here, I'm thinking. Let's see how this does, if y'all can actually see it. What's up? Are you one of these 7 people right now? No? Oh, okay. Oh, I swear to God. Okay. The light that was like coming behind me was making like a weird little shadow, and I thought it was a roach. All right, let's see. This one isn't really as satisfying. Y'all can see it kind of expanding a little bit, but yeah, this is more on like the lower tier of satisfaction. There are some, actually the cushion I did before this literally expanded like an inch. The foam looks so bad. And after I touched some steam to it, looked like brand new. Not gonna lie though, sometimes it can smell pretty bad because you got the steam like in your face. But you get used to it. Just smells like old ass boats. And honestly, this foam is looking kind of odd. You can see how it's still like being kind of weird and wrinkly. I think that's because maybe this was slightly overstuffed and over time the foam just kind of wrinkled in place. Because sometimes when foam is too compressed, it won't expand back. As you're seeing now, like we still got these spots. But it's still filling out a little bit, which actually does make a difference. But the important thing is the mesh that we cut out did look like it was fitting this foam quite nice. So as long as we go off of that pattern, we should be good, which is another reason to go off of the old. I hope y'all can hear me pretty good. Last time I didn't have a mic. I have my little Blue Yeti or whatever it is. I have my little mic hooked up to my phone, so I hope it's coming through better. But yeah, I'm kind of working on the streaming setup. And basically, I'm gonna keep this stream going either until I finish these two, which we'll see how long that takes, or my phone dies because I can't really see the battery percentage, and I have the microphone hooked up to it, so still kind of working the kinks out. All right, yeah, let's see if we can get this to expand pretty good. Dang. I swear they're usually way more satisfying than this. Yeah, see, like that kind of. Yeah, and this side's coming out a lot better than the other one. So yeah, this side was a lot more scrunched up, which is not bad. That just means this foam is definitely big enough. And again, that's why I'm using the material and not patterning this. If I did want to make this cushion brand new from scratch, the only thing different I would do, I would go to the boat and just lay down some plastic wherever these cushions are laying, and then just trace that out, which would end up pretty much being this exact same shape. So if that makes sense at all. Hopefully. Oh, Jesus, fuck. Okay. So, got a little bit. Alright, let's flip it out to the other side. Usually you don't need to do the main body, because first of all, it will take forever, and this typically doesn't really compress as much as it does on the sides. And any problem you may run into when you're actually stuffing is going to be like on the sides, especially the corners. There'll be like a dead space in the cushion, and you'll be able to, you'll see it kind of looks funny. And honestly, what you see me doing right now, I haven't done a whole lot of like furniture. I have redone like a few couch cushions for some of these yachts, and this trick here actually works really good for like all types of foam. I would put money, it would actually, I bet it'd make a difference like to your couch. If you got like an old couch and you're starting to see some like wrinkles just because it's like getting old and compressed, maybe if you got a steamer laying around, give it a unstuff those cushions and touch it with some steam. Might do you some good, I'd be willing to bet. Depending on how fresh the foam actually is, but. Alright, last slide. Yeah, it's not really doing too much. I mean, I maybe got like a quarter to a half inch out of this whole piece of foam, which isn't terrible, but better than nothing. All right. And one thing to keep in mind, if you're ever doing cushions that are old, or if you're matching like existing cushions, if there's any question, okay, that's not sticking at all. If there's any question, label everything, because you never know what you're going to need to reference. And I can already tell right now, this piece of foam is pretty symmetrical, and it may not be perfectly symmetrical, but yeah, nothing wants to stick to this, but it's just best to label everything that you can think of. All I did was write top on this, so I know this is the actual like top side and this is the bottom. Although it'd be pretty hard to mistake because we have this round corner right here, and this is the only round corner on this entire thing, so I'll just look for this once I have the cushion made. And we can set this right here. All right, let's move you guys back over here. You had to replace foam. What side does it come in? Like 4x8 sheets of plywood? Yeah, it depends on where you get them from. But usually if you order it in bulk, yeah, they come in like big sheets of plywood. There are some places that wait, hold on, where did I just put the, oh, there it is. If you go to places like the Fabric Warehouse, a lot of places like that will pre-cut the foam for you, but you're going to be paying quite a premium just because unless you have like a business with a tax ID and stuff and you make an account with these wholesalers, you're going to be paying retail price, which I don't even know what the wholesale price is, to be honest. I just kind of tell the office lady, hey, we need more 2-inch foam, and it magically appears at the door. So but if any of y'all are wanting to like dabble in some cushions or anything, I personally have ordered from the Fabric Warehouse. They've done me pretty good. I think they're like a smaller company, but I haven't ordered foam from them. But they've been pretty quick with their shipping times. And I have done a couple of jobs through them totally. Now you won't find this material. For those of you just joining, this is Psy leather. It's a silicone based leather. It is actually super duper nice. I wish y'all could feel this. It's got kind of like a rubbery feel to it, and it is incredibly hard to stain. So this is my favorite stuff to use for boats, and it's not like crazy rigid or uncomfortable. It is a little expensive, but the company that makes it is Reliatex, and they've been having some issues lately. But yeah. And the other thing about this material specifically, because it is so hard to, because it does such a good job at like keeping stains off and staying clean, it's actually quite hard to draw on this surface at least. That's why pretty much every single time I do cushions, I always draw on the back side of it, because you can draw it, you can draw on it with a regular pencil just fine. You're not drawing anything on this. But keep in mind, it's pretty low risk with this stuff. You see the surface of my table is kind of jacked up. If you got like fresh stuff that's gonna transfer, keep that in mind, because I have had some cushions I've needed to redo because I've had Sharpie marks transfer to the actual vinyl and I couldn't get it off. So just be really careful if you're doing some bright white cushions. And I'm going to move the microphone over here. I don't even know if this thing is working. I hope it is. All right, I might need to move it back a little bit more. Oh, hope y'all can hear this pretty decent. But the streaming setup is not as optimized in the garage as I would like it to be, but hey, it's a garage. Another super important thing to think about whenever you are making some cushions like this, label the actual, let's see, hold on, let me write it with something better. Label the inside and the outside of the panels, because if I draw it out like this, the cushion is going to be reversed. You want to have it in the same orientation, because this is the outside of the bottom. The cushion would technically be upside down now. So I want to be looking at this surface. All right, O/S for outside. And yeah, I hate to do this to you guys. I like just ate, so I'm gonna use the bathroom. I'm gonna try not to take like too many breaks, but you know, that's the way she goes. I'll be right back. Okay. It's really going to be one of those days, isn't it? I mean, can you blame me though? I had Subway for the first time today in like 3 years. Oh, okay, that's good. I guess I'll keep using the mic then. But I had Subway today for lunch for the first time in like 3 years. And of course, because I am but a simpleton, I have had to use the bathroom a lot today. It's the way she goes. All right. Now, one other thing you want to think about when you're making really big cushions like this. Let me point this down a little bit so y'all can see more of what I'm doing. Ignore my fucking belly hanging over. Jesus. You can imagine when you're actually sewing all of this together, this is a really long run, and with this material being so stretchy, if you start sewing, sometimes it'll stretch and grow on you, and it'll be way off. It's like not even funny. So make sure you draw some match marks all over the place, and while you're sewing, this doesn't really matter when you're putting the boxing on, but when you're actually putting the mesh to like the main body and like finishing up the cushion, these are going to be really important because this is going to keep you lined up and keep your like tension even and prevent the cushion from looking just straight up whack. So I just go around and put little hash marks. Sometimes I'll put 1 or I'll put like 2. Just make sure you don't put them all evenly around, because if you get confused, your cushion's gonna be way off. So again, just label everything you can, match marks, make it as dummy proof as possible, and you should be good to go. The other important thing you want to think about when doing cushions like this, the corners and like the apexes of all the like turns, if you have the corners off, let's say you put your main top piece on, you got the boxing sewed to it, and all you have left to do is sew the mesh to it. If you have those corners misaligned, you're gonna see, it's hard to explain, but it's blatantly obvious if they're not lined up. So just make sure you got everything nice and squared. All right, there's that. Once you got that traced, you're going to want to make sure you add your seam allowance. I always do a 1/2 inch. And just trace that all the way around. See. Okay. Adrian, no, where's my little pair of scissors go? Oh, here they are. The other thing about side leather, it is really, really tough. Make sure your scissors are nice and sharp because you'll have a time. These aren't like super duper sharp, but they seem to be doing pretty well. Actually, you know what? Where's that little fucking dude go? There it is. I am actually gonna give my big pair of scissors a quick sharpen. Pop this in here. And again, I'll link everything in the description, all the tools I'm using. This is a nice little handheld belt sander or grinder. I use to sharpen scissors. You can sharpen knives or whatever you want with them. These are super good. And you can order a whole pack of like different size or different grits. Oh yeah, sorry if this is like crazy loud. Different mic. Let me know if it is. But yeah, this is a nice little convenient tool to have. For sure. All right, I'm gonna move to a different, yeah, let's go with this purple one. And it's super easy to change. This little dial here is spring loaded, so you don't need to do anything crazy. Just pop her on and then boom, just like that. And then I'm gonna bump it up to one more grit. Yeah, I know this is kind of boring, but it's a huge, honestly, this is a huge time saver when it comes to cutting this stuff. All right. Feels good. Let's see how it cuts with this scrap right here. I'm not gonna do anything, just gonna. Ooh, that's like butter. Dang, all right, let's try the tip. Nice. Dang, these scissors used to suck. I'm telling you, this tool, it's a convenient little tool. And again, all the links are going to be in the description after this video is posted. Alright, as we were. Oh man, that is so much better. Oh. What is this? Dang, it looks like there was a little defect. But luckily that's within the seam allowance, so I think we're good. And boom. This is what needed. Alright. And another thing you can do, because sometimes you'll draw these match marks, they can get erased on you. So to make sure they never go anywhere, you can just take a little snip out of the material and it leaves a little notch like this. And you can use those as your match marks. You don't have to do that. I like to because it is extremely annoying to have all your match marks get erased. God bless me, thank me. I'm welcome. Oh, so stupid. All right, there's that. So now I'm going to cut the piping. A lot of the work that comes with doing these cushions, like 80% of it is in the prep. Because when you think about it, you only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You only have 6 runs of stitching technically to completely make these cushions. So It's really not that much time behind the machine. It's just all of this nonsense prep work, cutting out stuff, matching it up, drawing in match marks and labeling. But I'm sure you can imagine how crazy and disorganized the job can get, especially if it's a really big one. So all right. Now all I'm going to do is draw out these, the strips for the welt cord, which all that is. For those of you who are around in the beginning, the piping that's in the seams is this stuff, and I'm just cutting out the strips. I'm basically gonna like taco fold it around, and then I'm gonna sew right above it, but that is what I'm doing currently. And the size I make it, just like your average ruler, plus like 1/8 of an inch. And usually that'll get you as wide as you need to go. And because this cushion is so big, instead of doing one super long run so I can go all the way around the perimeter of this cushion in one go, I am going to cut multiple strips, because cutting up the roll that far is a massive waste. So sometimes you have to seam stuff where you can. And this is 90% of what upholstery is. Exactly what you're seeing here, just monotonous drawing out, tracing, labeling. It's actually very little time spent behind the machine. And I think I'm only going to make 5 strips of this. I think that will be enough for the top and bottom. But this stuff is also so stretchy, while I'm sewing it, I'm going to pull it. So hopefully I can get a little bit more distance out that way, but we shall see. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 more. Oh, let me figure this out. Okay, there it is. There we go. Figured it out. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, I'm a bank on that being good enough. And if you didn't have sharp scissors, this would not be possible, gliding your scissors across it like this. Because when I say this stuff is tough, it is tough. Let me get more of this side. That's probably better. There's one. Dose. Trace. Man, I'm gonna be honest, I wish copyright laws weren't a thing because it can get pretty dull doing this stuff with zero music. Because usually, the only difference between me doing this on camera right now versus off camera is I would have music blasting right now. But because I don't want to get in trouble, we are going to do this in silence. Because we're no fun. No fun allowed. Okay. Here's this pile of junk. Now, to draw out the boxing, now if you don't know what the boxing is, let's use this cushion as an example. The boxing, so this is like what I refer to as the main body right here. And where this board is where the mesh would be. This side is what I'm referring to as the boxing. So that's what I'm gonna cut out next. And all of these little strips are going to turn into piping that I'm gonna put in this top seam and this bottom seam. Obviously not on this cushion, but on the one I'm currently working on right now. So, let's see. We want this. Let's actually turn this the other way. And when you cut these out, you really want to make sure you're using a straight edge. All right, the mic and shit are right there. I'm gonna have to move y'all back again. How's that? That's probably good. I can probably, yeah, this is so fucking ghetto. Whatever. I can probably do that. Okay, now it's like hella tilted. What in the, oh, okay, there we go. Yeah, this is exactly what it's like when I'm by myself recording a video. This is exactly it. So, damn, hold on, what? It's fucking unplugged. Is it good? Are we good now? Jesus. I am just so stupid. Okay. I hope y'all can hear me. I don't know if that messed with anything. Sure hope not. Now, for me to tell what size to make the boxing, I'm just going to measure how thick the foam is. So we got, this looks like 2.5 inch foam. Yeah, so this is 2.5 inch foam. So I'm going to make the boxing 3 1/4. Because the way you figure out the size, you got 2.5. You add a 1/2 inch for both sides of your seam allowance, then subtract a 1/4 inch. That's going to make your boxing a little bit smaller and allow for the skin to compress the foam a little bit. So I'm going to do this and this. Where'd my pencil go? Literally, where did my pencil go? I didn't put it in my hat, did I? Man. Oh, there it is. Okay. You always want to make your boxing a little longer than you need, so you can always splice it together later. you don't want it to come up short. So when in doubt, cut what you think you need, and then a little bit extra after that. So let's go that. Plus a tiny bit more, I'm thinking. And that should be good. Okay. And I'm making 2 strips. Instead of making the box all the way around this with 1 strip, I'm going to seam it on the ends here. I'm going to have 1 strip go in half and then the other strip. Just to be a little bit more cautious about how much material I'm using. So 2.5, 3 1/4. Yeah. Why? What's that?
I was just wondering.
Yeah, I'm probably just gonna make this 1 cushion on live, and then what time is it?
20.
Dang, it's 8 already.
Yeah.
Jeez. Ask me what I did at work today all day. Exactly this. I did the same thing. And it is 8 o'clock. Still doing the same thing. Just making stuff. Because that's what I do. Stuff won't make itself. But it is what it is. These bills won't pay themselves, unfortunately. As much as I really want them to, and maybe one day they will pay themselves, but for right now, I'm here. Just making stuff. I'm not gonna lie, I'm getting kind of tired. I ate a lot of food today. It's not great for productivity. But who cares? Alright. Nope, I'm gonna use my good pair. Yeah, there we go. And let's keep this rolling. Quarter. 3/4. 3/4. 3/4. Dang, you're telling me there's 6 of you watching me in silence right now? Man. Sorry, I'm so oh, 7, sorry. Sorry I am so mind-numbingly boring. But, you know, I'm just cutting out some boxing, that's it. I'm just trying to make some cushions, that's all. Make a little bit of guap. A lot of bit of guap, actually, but, you know, it's whatever. Alright, now I got these made. All that's left to cut out for this cushion is the boxing. So, let's see, let's put this down here. Where I got that mesh at? There it is. Oh, don't tell me you fell through the tables, damn it. Come on. Hold on. Yo, what the fuck? Jesus. Push that bitch back in. Alright. Let's cut out some mesh. Alright, so now mark the inside of the mesh. Pardon? Just put my pencil right here. Just marking inside. And let's get this traced out. It is good to have something heavy on it so nothing slides. Lucky for me, I've got two absolutely random things of nonsense. And we want to find all of our match marks we drew on this thing and trace those over. Let's see, we got one right here. We got two right here. One right here. And we got two right here. Is that two? Yeah. Oh wait, that is three. Jeez. Yeah, this mesh isn't necessarily the easiest thing to draw on, unfortunately. But 'tis the way she goes. And then I'm gonna put a little X right there. A little X right there. X right there. Right there and right there. And that should be the last thing we need this for. We can officially do away with the old cushion completely. We got everything we need now. I'm not gonna draw out my 1/2 inch. I'm just gonna eyeball it when I cut it. But basically, that was my seam line I was drawing. And you want to add a 1/2 inch for your seam allowance. Oh shit, that almost fell off. Alright, now we're going to draw a line to trace for the zipper. Okay, let's bring it down like that. And yeah, I think that's it. So the one last thing we need to cut out, and then we have everything we need. All these X's I drew, there are 5 different finger tabs this thing needs. So this is unusable. Alright, let's just say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is probably plenty long. I'm going to trace this line. Almost done with the boring part, I swear. I'm just gonna trim this like at 9 inches. Just an arbitrary number. We are officially done cutting all this boring shit out. Now I'm going to be perfectly honest with you guys. That is my least favorite part, is just cutting all the stuff out. It gets so dang boring. Like, I want to go to sleep right now. But I cannot. The show must go on. Now, I think what I'm going to do, I take that back. We do have one more thing to cut out. I'm going to pre-cut the piping we need. Okay, that's probably way too much. So let's start here. And there. Boom. Boom. Around here, there. And boom. And boom. Plus a little bit extra. Let's get one more of these. Because we are putting piping on both the top and the bottom seam of this cushion. Man, can y'all tell I'm getting tired? Jesus, I am boring myself. I'm sorry y'all are sitting through this right now. Okay, now we're done. We can put this away. Now let me find a good spot for you guys so y'all can see what I'm doing. How's this? Yeah, y'all like that, don't you? Hell yeah. That's probably good. Let me move it. Can I move this out of the way? Yeah, probably. Yeah, y'all are just gonna have to ignore these things. Hopefully it's not being dumb on the camera. Let me plug this little guy in too while we're at it. It's honestly a fire hazard. Because again, I forgot the mic was there. Because I do only have 2 outlets in this entire garage. So let's get these things out of the way first. Jesus. Nope, I take that back. Let me switch over to white thread. How much bobbin do I have? Oh, I got plenty. Nope, save the big one. Come on, there we go. Nope, okay, I guess you want to just get untangled, that's fine. Yeah, y'all can see just fine. Oh, I can't even, hold on, let me turn the laptop. Because I cannot see y'all. There we go. Okay, let's turn this annoying ass thing on. Sewing this welt cord is actually a lot easier than it looks because all this is just a tiny little straw tube thingy. The underneath, the bottom of this foot has a little groove cut out for this to fit underneath nice. So that's all you really need to do. Not drop it. There is one. Uno mas. Sure, I'm gonna run out of bobbin on this one. Oh, there's the bobbin. Man, I'm so tired right now. I could just go right to bed. But I think after this, we'll watch some Yellowstone. We got some extreme moose tracks. So we're gonna have a little bit of that. Maybe. Come on. as we were. Yep. Ooh. Okay. So there's that. Man, I'm so tired. Now, let's sew this on here. I'm thinking this one seems smack in the center right here. Let's grab one of these. Grab this guy and let's get to sewing. Actually, let me cut this a little bit straighter. There we go. That is a little better. It's always so tough to get started. That's probably good. Alright, I might need to grab my little side table. Just because this thing's pretty big. I think we're gonna pop a seam right here. So this right here. Ba-boom. Man. For those of you just joining in, all I'm doing is making a just one cushion for the flybridge of a sport fishing yacht. It's actually a 65-foot blackwell, I think, and once this video is uploaded, you can see everything I did before, but I basically went through the entire process on how I make this, and we're approaching the end of it. I don't think I have more than an hour left on this thing, so yeah. I'm gonna be perfectly honest though. I'm kind of tired, so I don't really got a super interesting commentary in me right now. Unfortunately. But you know what? That's okay. It's not the end of the world. Eyeball that. Cut that off. Let's see these together. How long has it been going on so far? Damn, 2 hours? Jeez. I mean, I guess that's not bad considering how big this cushion is, because they do usually take about 3 hours to do. I feel like I should have been getting more done, but can't win them all. turned out pretty good. All right. Now let me draw all these match marks. Where'd my pencil go? Oh, there it is. And basically, that is what this seam looks like. You can see I got the piping in there. That is all I was doing. And what I'm doing is just transferring the match marks to the top of my boxing here. All right. Let me grab some zippers. I swear, this thing turned into such a rat's nest. I do not know where the end of this. Oh, there it is. Let's see. It never usually gets like this, but I don't know how it happened this time. But once it gets tangled, I mean, it's done. There's no going back. Oh, okay, we're good. Oh, come on.
Just getting a bottle of water.
Oh, can you throw me one?
Huh?
Can you throw me one? Thank you. Getting pretty fucking thirsty there. Whenever I'm done, all I have to do is finish making up this mesh and then sew it on and then stuff it. So maybe no longer than an hour, if I had to guess. Oh, no, I'm not mad at all. Dude, I've been working like all day. I got to work at like 7 a.m., got off at 5, came here, started doing this. I'm just a little tired. That, and I have quite a bit of food in me, so I could honestly fall asleep at any moment. But why continue the stream? Why not turn it off? Glad you asked. This is actually a job that I have to finish this week, so I'm kind of using the live stream as a way to force me to get it done almost, but also show some people how to make some cushions along the way. Nah, I'm no, I'm just focusing. That's hilarious. Dang, from Arkansas. That's crazy. Were you watching like this entire time? That's crazy. You must have some serious attention span. Either that or you must really be interested in upholstery. I hear something. This money ain't gonna make itself, unfortunately. Well, maybe one day it will, but for now I got a slave for it. Let's go this bit, I'm thinking. But I'm also approaching. Wait, what'd you say? Yeah, it's an incredibly rewarding hobby. I'll once I'm done with this, I'll post a picture of a job I just finished from my boss. It was a couple of diamond stitch cushions, and they turned out like so good, way better than I was expecting. It was great. And it's also cool if you start doing it for money because let's see. Oh, what are the odds? But if you start doing it at a pretty high level, it can actually get quite lucrative. I know some people charge 125 to 150 an hour just for labor. So if we can get to that point, money, easy peasy. I am almost finished up with this mesh. I just have one more tab to put on, and then I can sew this big thing to the mesh, and then that's all the sewing done. Let's see. I try to keep a schedule because usually, so I live on the East Coast. usually I get off of work at around like 4:30. So if I ever do start a live stream on a weekday, try to start it at around 6. But usually Saturdays are best for me. Because I figured maybe not everybody would be interested in watching the live streams, but I know before I was getting started, like before I even had a job doing upholstery at all, and I had no idea how to do any of this, I so wished there was someone doing this sort of thing back before I got this job, because I may not, well, who knows? I may not have even gotten this job, but because the short videos I make, they're like 15 to like 30 minutes long at max, and although I try to do a good job of explaining everything, you don't really see the real process. With doing these live streams, you can see the entire thing from start to finish, what it's actually like and how long each process takes. Yeah, but and I'm still working on like optimizing the whole live setup in my garage. It's getting better, I think, but yeah. So hopefully people are learning from these. No, did I really just put that on wrong? Damn it. I'm a dummy. I put this tab on inside out. Oops. Where's my... I have a seam ripper. Although there is so these cushions, these are some pretty big cushions for a flybridge. Like this is this whole cushion right here. It's pretty dang long. And the other one's even bigger. And these are just 2 of the cushions. The other 2 are some pretty dope looking teak Helms chairs. And I'm going to make a main YouTube video about those. So hopefully that turns out good and you'll see the rest of this job. But I'm going to be honest, it's kind of tricky finding time to get some of these videos edited. That's why I really like these live streams. I'm like knocking 2 birds out with 1 stone. Alright, let's give this another shot. That's why I didn't mark this X here. Yeah, it really does. Although I tried experimenting a little bit with slightly easier videos for me to edit and make, but they honestly do quite terrible. Because some of my best videos were the ones that took the longest to make. For some reason, the second video I ever uploaded is my biggest one. Couldn't tell you why, but I mean, it's only at like 4,000 views, which isn't a whole lot, but that took me almost a month to make. And same with all the other ones that are doing really good, so I guess I just gotta stop being lazy about it, put in more effort. That's the way she goes. It's alright, because one of these days I'll be able to go full time and it'll be no problem. Full time YouTube. Wouldn't that be crazy? I was surprised that turned out as decent as it did, to be honest. I filmed that with my iPhone for the first time. That was the first video I filmed with my iPhone. And for the life of me, I do not understand why it is next to impossible to get an Apple phone to cooperate with a PC. It took me like actually 3 hours to try and get just those few videos from my phone to my PC. It's so convoluted. That, and once I had it in the editing program, it like looked all grainy. But it's fine. At the end of the day, I think I got some decent knowledge out there, which is the important thing. Actually, I'm pretty sure, yeah. Yeah, here's that handbag right here. It honestly turned out pretty decent, but yeah, that thing took me like 20 minutes to make. That was great. Yeah, if you, the most important thing, yeah, I 100% agree. Every time I'm proven right, Apple is miserable. God forbid you forget your Apple ID and password. Forget that. You're just never getting your shit ever again. But, besides the point, the one thing to make sure. Yeah, I'm trying to think of a good place. Honestly, your best bet might be to check out like Hobby Lobby or somewhere like that if you're looking just for material to purely just practice on, because all the material though pretty much isn't the best quality stuff. So, and I don't think it's that expensive. I mean, besides, actually, let me hold on, let me pull out a cushion for you. I can show. So, if you're looking to for an easy cushion to practice, I know this kind of looks crazy just because of the double diamonds, but if you watch the video that explains how I did this, but this is just like a simple staple-on cushion. Unlike what I'm doing here, I'm making a full, like, kind of enclosed cushion, I guess. You got a top, side, and bottom. I'm sewing everything together. All you have with these, and this is just PVC board right here, but all you have is just this top piece, and then the boxing. And if you want to get kind of fancy with it, you can do this double diamond if you want. You can see, well, the lighting's kind of garbage, but put in a little top stitch. You can get kind of fancy with it, but pretty much all this is just a rectangle, and you sew like 3 inches around the perimeter, and then you staple it on. These are a great like beginner cushion to like practice on. And this is actually how a lot of boat cushions are. Like half of the cushions on a boat are what I refer to as staple on, and these are always way easier because it like eliminates half of the sewing. Especially like all this nonsense I'm doing with this mesh, it's completely eliminated because it's on a board. So, yes and no. What I've learned to do, you'll see a lot of people, like any video you may see, you see they're like measuring everything, like I'm gonna do 2 3/16 here and 8 inches by blah 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 blah. Like, to me, that is just so confusing when I throw in too many numbers. So what I've kind of learned to do and teach myself is do it the laziest way possible without messing it up pretty much. Because if I don't have to measure anything, I won't. There's a few things you do want to measure out, but for instance, when I was starting this cushion, I was going off of the mesh, right? Because usually when cushions like this are made, whoever originally got the pattern, they'll probably get some plastic, lay down where that cushion is going to be and trace it around. And because the mesh, the bottom of the cushion is what's sitting on that surface, usually the mesh is the most accurate piece. So I always go off of the mesh. And in this case, because everything was already done for me, really the only measurement I needed to know in this case was how big to make the boxing. Because the top of this cushion and the bottom of this cushion are the exact same. So I just cut the mesh out twice, and I made my match marks, made sure each piece was oriented. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it says 171 minutes. Okay. Are we good? Also, ignore this crazy shit behind me. I'm in the middle of cleaning out the garage and kind of had to consolidate it there. Actually, you know what? You're right. Let me point it back this way just a little bit. There we go. That might be a little bit better. Okay. Yeah, like I said, ignore this trash behind me. It's a garage. That's why I don't show this side in my YouTube videos that much. But you're gonna have to remind me what I was saying. I forget where I was. Yeah. I was explaining, honestly, I totally forgot. Yeah, so, hold on, I totally lost my train of thought. Oh, okay, I remember you. Yeah, you said it doesn't look like I'm being all that precise yet. Everything comes out perfectly. So, and what I was saying in this case, because I'm making it off of the old foam, I'm just completely replicating what the old cushion was. Um, First of all, I always go off of the mesh only, and because I know the mesh and the top surface of the cushion are the exact same, I didn't have to worry about measuring that out. So really the only measurement you need is how thick to make your boxing, which in this case, the foam was 2.5 inches. And I always add a 1/2 inch seam allowance on each side. So 2.5 inch boxing plus the seam allowance would be 3.5 inches. But to add a little bit of compression, you take away a 1/2 inch. So 2.5 boxing, add 3/4, and that's going to be how much you cut your boxing, if that makes any sense. Because all you're just doing is adding 3/4 of an inch to the size of your foam, and that's how thick your boxing needs to be. And after that, that's pretty much the only measurement you really need. I just leave everything long and then cut it together towards the end. It's a little I'm a little past that point to show you how I cut the boxing together, but yeah, I understand exactly what you're talking about. Okay, let me move this laptop back a little bit. Dang, I can't believe my phone actually died. That is so dumb. What can I say? I'm just a tech genius. And there are a lot of tips and tricks that that I've figured out over time that kind of help eliminate the need to measure stuff out. And I can make sure in my future live streams I'll go over those like in detail, and then in the analytics afterwards I'll put timestamps on it so you can like find every section. But I'll try to show you what I'm talking about in the future ones. Wait, like it's repeating right now? Damn, that's the last time I let my phone die. Jesus. I knew something like this was gonna happen. I just knew it. Oh. Gotcha. So for instance, with a big cushion like this, let me do my best to show you. With a big cushion like this, we have such a long span to sew, especially with material like this. It's actually really stretchy. which can cause uneven tension and create like wrinkles out the wazoo. So what I make sure and do, and this is probably the most important thing you can do with cushions like at all, other than cutting out the pieces the right size, is match marks. So you see I have a tick mark right here. I don't know if you can actually see that. Might be kind of hard to see, but I have a tick mark here and here. And I have another one here and here. You see I have it marked with 2 lines. And I like interchange that. Sometimes I'll put 1, 1, and a 2. Just really mix it up so you know this can only be oriented one way. Any other way, if it's slightly askew, none of your match marks will line up. That's what I do, and that's the reason why a lot of my stuff ends up looking as decent as it does, is because everything's always perfectly lined up. Match marks are huge. All right. So now, pretty sure, there we go. Let's see if we can't get an angle. That should be good. Ignore my super cool pile of trash behind me. That's actually not trash. That's actually a boat cover pattern. I'm in the process of that. That's taking a little bit longer, but trying to get that video out, but that's taking forever. All right, as we were. So I'm gonna start here with this double match mark. Now, this is obviously the bottom of the cushion, so there's a lot less risk with this. You can, I don't want to say be more lazy with this, but if there's any flaws or wrinkles that are going to be in anything, you want them to be in the mesh because nobody ever sees this. A lot of times you can get away with leaving the stuff in, but after a while you get kind of get the gist of things. All right, let's get this in here. Probably get a better angle on this. I know y'all just love it when I'm adjusting my phone like this. Yeah, see, like this plastic right here, that's not junk. That's actually a boat cover pattern. It looks like a big old wad of trash right now, but it won't once I'm done with it. All right, there we go. I still can't believe my phone fucking died on a stream. That is so dumb. But I'm actually glad it resumed the same stream. I totally thought I was going to have to start a whole separate stream and then cut them together in my computer after the fact, but no, I guess YouTube thought of that one in advance. Thanks, YouTube. another useful tip I would say, so you don't have to constantly hold the material together. If you get the match marks lined up with themselves, so you see I have this tick mark right here and I have this tick mark. You get them lined up. These clamps are 99 cents at Lowe's. Get a bunch of them and just hold the material together, and that saves you like a bunch of headache. Oh no, you're totally fine, dude. Ask away. I am going to be honest though, the bigger the piece you do, or the bigger the cushion, the more it weighs, the longer it is. It can get quite annoying to deal with, especially if you don't have the table space, which that's honestly one of the most important upgrades I need to do is upgrade my table space, because it is so annoying. I'm sure you can see this dumb table behind me. That's like, that table cost me like 20 bucks at Walmart. And it's not quite cutting it. Alright. I don't want the material to knock over the phone. Alright. And a lot of times, so this side leather is really stretchy, and this mesh is not stretchy at all. So almost always the main material is going to stretch on you. So a general rule of thumb, what I do, and this has became a habit for me, I do this every single time I sew mesh on. So I'll keep my needle all the way down, and I'll keep this material underneath nice and relaxed. Let me see if I can't get a better angle than this. Sorry, I know I'm just constantly adjusting my phone. So, like, I'll have this material relaxed, my needle's down, and I'm pulling pretty hard on the mesh. And then I'm sewing that down. Yeah, those clips are a huge lifesaver. Clamps and match marks, and your cushions are guaranteed to look great. I wonder if I can't get you like over here so you can see what I'm doing. Hold on. I'm gonna get you a better angle. Give me like 1 second. All right. This over here. Sorry, I'm doing a lot of camera adjusting, but whatever. It's all about the angles, man. Okay, how's that? I can get that a little bit higher. Now, the trick is to not drop my phone. Alright, I don't know if that helps you at all. The cord is making everything fall this way. Man, I am a... Alright, gotta unplug that light. Got a little bit darker in here. Whatever. Now, let me bring this a little bit closer. Hopefully, you can see what I'm doing a little bit. Now, actually, what I can do is plug in this guy. I swear, I only have 2 outlets in this whole garage, and I have to play musical outlets. It is so annoying. Yeah, now you can see a little bit more of what I'm doing, hopefully. Cool. That match mark. Okay. So let's see, we got this here. Let's put a clamp right here. Alrighty, that's like that, just about. One thing you'll always see me do when I go over these zippers, because you can sew over zippers, but just go nice and slow. I go over them a few times, and that really locks it in, because otherwise those stitches can pop there, and it's extremely annoying. Okay, I can actually pull back on this. And I honestly can't stress enough how much I'm focusing on these match marks when I'm sewing the mesh to the boxing. Because initially when you're sewing the boxing on, just send it. You can sew it, it doesn't matter, because you're not lining it up to anything. But since you have to line the mesh up with those corners, when I'm sewing the mesh, I am hardcore focusing on all those match marks. Which just means whenever you're drawing out all your materials, make sure you have the material oriented, because there is an inside and an outside to both the top and bottom, and make sure they're the way they should be. Because it can get pretty easy to mark them inside out, and all of a sudden none of your match marks line up, and for the life of you, you can't understand why. Because trust me, it happens. But you do it enough, and kind of learn not to do it anymore, I guess. I'm halfway rambling because I'm like focusing. So I might be just talking utter nonsense. Yeah, so you see what I'm doing? I'm keeping this material relaxed with my thumb, and I'm pulling pretty good on the mesh. But make sure you're careful when you do stuff like that, because if you pull super hard in one section, all of a sudden when you go to turn it inside out, that section's going to be like super bunchy, and you're going to see a lot of weird wrinkles for some reason. So you also want to like keep in mind, like whatever you do, try and keep an even like tension on everything, if that makes sense. There's a lot of little nuanced stuff, but once you do them, once you start playing around with it, you'll kind of figure out your rhythm with what works. There's no one way to do it. This is just the way that I've found works best for me. Yeah, and see, my somehow my match mark started getting off by like a ½ inch, so I'm having to play like a little game of catch up. Yeah, so that's off by like a ½ inch. So I'm really gonna relax on the boxing here, and I'm gonna make sure I'm pulling pretty good on the mesh. Because if your match marks start getting off, you can kind of force them back to where they need to be. But that's when you have to be really careful, because you can really start making your you can really make your cushion look wrinkly. Well, we are on the home stretch right now. Once I finish this stitch, then all we gotta do is stuff this. And bada bing, bada boom. She done. There we go. Alright. Sorry, back on track. Let's see, where's my next match mark? Damn, right there. And so what I'll do to make sure I have the piece lined up good, because if my match marks were off, so I got a match mark right here and I'm holding it together right there, and I'm pulling it back, and you can see they're lining up pretty evenly. If it was off, you may see something kind of like this, like when you're pulling it, and then it'll, like one side will be loose. So what I'll periodically do is like, I'll put a match mark together and hold it with a clamp way in the back, and then I'll pull it and make sure this whole span is gonna be like pretty on. Because again, even if this is pretty even, if you're sewing with weird tension here and it's like a little bit looser here and weird here, even though this is all like lining up perfectly, you're still going to have a weird patch of wrinkles here and here. So you really want to make sure you're sewing with even tension and you're pulling each individual piece evenly. Okay, I knew it. I knew it. There's my bobbin. And how much you want to bet this one wound weird? God damn, these are fucking on there. Yeah, every time this winds it up weird. I have to unwind part of it because I know it's gonna tangle up. Might I recommend if I don't know if you have a machine or if you what your machine situation is like, but I would recommend a Juki if you have the ability to grab one. Not saying consos are bad, because that's what I'm working with right now, but they're a little on the bare bones side. And way more finicky than Jukis. So just a little tidbit of info there. Oh, and that's probably tangled already. Yeah. And one thing to keep in mind, so you saw I just ran out of bobbin, and I basically sewed a good 2 feet with no bobbin. The side leather does great at covering up the stitch holes because it is rubbery. They like close right up and you can't see them at all. That's not the case with like literally any other material. Yeah, you and me both. Oh, okay, gotcha. I know how to use these things pretty damn well. Really anything, I mean, I know how to change a needle and like I can clean it pretty well, but like timing and everything, like I'm just as clueless. I'm sure I could figure it out, but I've never really had to figure it out, so hopefully I didn't just jinx myself. But luckily, this was purchased brand new. It was about $2,000, so it was a little pricey, but luckily when I purchased this, I already had a fair amount of experience and I already knew kind of what I was doing a little bit, so I knew how to avoid a lot of the annoying things you might find with a sewing machine, so that was good. And even though I know I said stitch holes are fine with this, and they are, if you do a run of stitching and your bobbin walks out, or your bobbin runs out, I always sew a little bit farther in so you completely bypass those stitch holes. Because once you stuff the cushion and there's a little bit of tension on it, those stitch holes are gonna like open up a little bit and you'll be able to see them clear as day. Especially with brighter material, like if you have a bright white cushion. Darker stuff like this you can't really see, but you can even still see these a little bit when I stretch it, so I'm just kind of sewing up on the boxing a little bit more to get past those. And again, I still have this clamp here and I'm pulling it back just to make sure these are lining up pretty good. Now this bottom piece is starting to get a little bit looser, so I'm going to pull kind of tight on the mesh just to make sure I'm evened out. And if you ever do that, make sure your needle's down when you're pulling so your stuff doesn't slide away from you. pretty much back on track. Okay. This right here. Oh, that's interesting. I've never seen this type of machines. I'm not really familiar with the machine Sailrite has, but I know a lot of people use them, and they seem to do pretty decent. Boy, wouldn't it be cool if I could get sponsored by Sailrite? I wonder if that's even a thing. I bet I could make that happen. Maybe. I don't know when, but... Alright, I think we're doing good, so I'm gonna halfway guess. You know, I actually think I have a box to prop this up a little bit higher on. Alright, let's hopefully give you a better view of what I'm looking at. I gotta really make sure I don't knock this over. This is kind of balancing. There we go. That should be a little bit better, I think. They have a little bit more of a top down. What I'm doing on these super tight corners is I'm doing like a few stitches, and then with my needle still down, I'm lifting up on the presser foot with the knee lift, and then I'm shimmying this over. And just do it little by little. That's usually how I go around pretty tight corners. You know what? I will. I'm a message Sailrite, and they're gonna be like, "Oh my gosh, absolutely! Here, take 40 grand," and it's gonna happen just like that. Just you wait. Alright, so the boxing's starting to grow on me a little bit, so now needle down. I'm going to push up on this material, keep it nice and relaxed. Pull kind of good on the mesh. Now I'm at the zipper. So I'm going to carefully back tack over it a little bit. If you go too quick, you'll break your needle. Dude, honestly, why not? I think if you really want to, send it. If you look in my like channel info or whatever it is, you should see my email. I think I have an email in there. Yeah, send it. I'd love to do a little bit of see what you're working with. Alright, where is... Okay, I do not have that match mark drawn. And see what I just did there? Found a match mark I forgot to put on, so I have these three here, but I didn't put them right here. And I don't know where they are. So I'm going to guess on this corner and hope it turns out okay. Damn, my eye's like twitching. That's weird. Alright. So, how are we doing? Oh, okay. Yeah, I did pretty good. Alright, let's get this finished here. We are approaching the end. Alright, so you see this is where we have the welt cord ending. So basically what I'm going to do to finish this off, I'm going to have this welt cord overlapping a tiny bit. I wonder if I can zoom in. Oh, I totally can. Hell yeah. Alright. Alright. So I want my welt cord to end here, so let's draw a little reference mark right here. Y'all can see I got that little white mark. Basically, this I have hanging over a 1/2 inch past that mark. All I'm going to do is cut this to where they're overlapping about a 1/2 inch. It's best to go a little bit more, like 3/4, because again, this stuff can stretch on you. And once you go to sew it, it may be short, and you do not want this coming up too short. Then from here, you're gonna open it up and expose this little thing. That's what she said. And then overlap them And then you're going to cut off the excess piping so they sit nice. And didn't cut off quite enough, so I'm going to cut off a little bit more. Alright, I like that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to hold all this with a clamp or just send it. How about let's send it, make sure we're doing good. So we're still overlapping with all this right here. Line it up good, and there you have it. That is a cushion. All right. So let's zoom back out. Turn this annoying ass thing off. And let's prop y'all right here, I'm thinking, so y'all can see. And let's get this light plugged back in. There we go. It's a little weird. Better. Okay. Move this out of the way. Oh, I know that's a terrible angle. Let me adjust this some. That's probably good. That's better. Let's set that right there. Yeah. Okay. First, let's do a quick look, see how our corners lined up. Okay, I think they lined up pretty good. Turn this inside out. Yeah, I'd say that looks like a cushion. All right. Now for the foam. All right, so my little thing I put on here to mark the top and the bottom fell off, but what I'm going to look at, we have this big gradual corner right here, and all the other corners are a little bit sharper. So I'm going to line this up with the foam, and that's how I know I'm going to have that in the right spot. Because although this may look perfectly symmetrical, like you could put the foam in any which way, that's not necessarily the case. And even if you sew everything absolutely perfectly, if you put in the foam like backwards or something, it's going to look way out of whack. So just make sure you got the foam oriented the right way. So let's get some plastic. That off. Basically done for. And I don't usually use this, but I'm just using some basic foam and fabric upholstery spray. Honestly, it's all pretty much the same. Some people don't do this because they say it holds water. I disagree. First of all, it goes on a boat. Boats are going to get wet. The cushions are going to get wet. You can't avoid that. But second of all, putting on a thin layer of foam does nothing to the, or putting on a thin layer of glue does absolutely nothing to the foam. And putting on this super thin plastic right here allows the foam to slide into the skin so much easier. Otherwise, you're going to be wrestling it for like an hour. And again, I said this in the beginning of this stream, but everything I'm using, I'm going to link in the description once this is uploaded. So if any of the materials or tools I'm using you're curious about, definitely check out the description. Now, the material I'm using for this, the side leather that's made by Reliatex, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to find, I'm not sure I'll be able to find a link for you guys if you do want to use this material, because I can't find one myself. I have to get this through my company, who, not my company, my job, the company I work for. They get it straight from the manufacturer, and I have never seen another website that actually has it. One thing you're going to want to do also, don't just glue it to the top, glue it to the sides too. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on this side here just to keep it attached right there. I don't even know what time it is. once we got this, you just trim off the excess. All right. Now, all we gotta do is just put it in, that's what she said, and then we are done. That was also what she said. She's been saying a lot today. Damn, I'm funny. Okay. Now we got this round corner here, making sure we got it all lined up. The bigger the cushion are and the bigger the cushion is, and especially the thicker it is, be really careful when you're stuffing it, because this zipper, naturally it's going to have to open and it can actually tear. So just be very careful about that. Okay, so now we got it in. It's looking like this. Starting from the zipper side, let me actually scoot y'all a little closer so you can see. All right, starting on this zipper side, you're gonna find the edge of the foam and you're gonna pull it so the boxing is lining up. Same thing with the other side, holding it in place. I usually like hold it with my elbow so I can still use my hand till I get in here. I'll pull it. I'll get these sides kind of where I want. Zip it up a tiny bit. Move over here. Get this seam where I want it. Holding that in place. Now this can be kind of tricky, so you'll just have to play with it a little bit. Damn, how did I miss that one? God damn it. Ugh, I'm ashamed of myself. Damn. Fucking got me. Okay. Oh, we look, that was looking pretty decent. Well, the bottom of it looks good. Final reveal. Yeah, see, look at that. That's a decent looking cushion. Now you're gonna find some stuff like this corner right here is doing some funny stuff. Perfectly fine. You'll just have to play around with it a little bit. And again, keep in mind, yeah, absolutely, no problem. That is why this channel exists. But one thing to keep in mind, if you're making something off of old cushions like I'm doing here, there's always the possibility something can go a little askew, so they may not turn out as good if you get an original pattern. But I mean, at the end of the day, they're just made for butts. I mean, I'd sit on this, you know what I mean? So this is the side I'm like trying to figure out. It's got a little bit of funny stuff happening here, but if you look at the overall cushion, looks pretty decent, and especially if you're doing multiple cushions, a little detail like this is honestly fine. I am gonna try and pull back on this material more and kind of all right, I think I'm gonna call this good. Let me grab this and first of all, let me make sure my phone isn't about to die. Okay, we're at 32%. We're probably good. Turn this around. That's what we're looking at, so I mean, it's not too bad. We got a little bit of funny stuff like this, but honestly, what I'm probably gonna do, a simple fix for stuff like this is you can get this stuff. Dacron is basically a cottonish type material, and it does a really good job for just kind of fixing little things like this. But I also have these lights that are giving like some pretty harsh lighting, so but yeah, I'm gonna call that good for now. Here's what the other one looks like, so that'll be a tricky one. That's what I'm gonna do tomorrow. But well, for the 5 of you remaining, hope you learned something, and I will see y'all later. And